Hi, I'm Justin Austin. I am a operatic baritone, and I'm singing the role of Remus in Washington National Opera's production of Treemonisha.
And I'm DeMarco Rush, writer and reporter with the Washington Informer. So, Justin, thanks for speaking with me today. So,
Thank you for having me.
I just want to start out. I want you to make your pitch to someone who may be thinking about coming out to see this. Why should they come see it? And in a couple sentences, describe the play.
Okay, so the opera Treemonisha by Scott Joplin is a piece that is about the importance of education and proper leadership, and how the pairing of the two is the best way society can move forward.
So, specifically for you, how did you get into opera? And what has gotten you to this point today where you got this role?
So I think what got me interested in opera was exposure. You know, both of my parents were opera singers, international professional opera singers. They both sang here at the Washington Opera, as it was called in their time. And it was the first thing I ever remember I wanted to do. And to see them up on stage and to be involved in it myself. I was a boy soprano when I was a kid and a child performer, and it was just the most fun thing to do. And I just had the opportunity to stay in it as long as I could, and I'm still in it. And I think what led me to being where I am today is the support of individuals like my parents and my mentors and my teachers, but also the support of opera companies like Washington National Opera that believe in me and have supported and encouraged me and given me opportunities to shine.
So, how is this story of Treemonisha, how is it powerful and relevant in today's age?
I think it is extremely relevant and powerful today. I think it is important to know our history. I think it's important to educate ourselves and to not rely on what we see on social media or what we hear or what people are telling us. And I think it's important to have proper leadership. In this case, the society decides to elect to actually choose this educated black woman as their leader, and it works out for them. I think if we could go back in time, there might be another educated black woman we could have chosen to be our leader, but we see how that went, and I think this is a clear example of how important it is to choose wisely when it comes to leadership.
So, you received the Marian Anderson Award in 2023. What was that award like for you, just receiving it, and how has that propelled your career since then?
So I think receiving the Marian Anderson Award, Vocal Award, was one of the highest honors that I've ever received, particularly because of what Marian Anderson stands for. You know, she was an ambassador for peace, and she wasn't just a phenomenal opera singer, but she was a symbol of resilience and hope. And I feel that me having received this award is a great honor, but it's also a responsibility to uphold, you know, her standard and the things that she believed in and lived for and fought for and sacrificed a lot for. I think when we think of Marian Anderson, we think of the immense love and respect that she had for this country. And I think that I want to hold everything that she had in mind when it comes to the next generation of singers, the next generation of young Americans. And paying it forward. And I think that as far as what it's done for my career, I think it's really put me in a very special category because the award itself goes to young, promising American talent. And I'm someone that I was actually born abroad. I was born in Germany, but I consider myself to be American. And my parents are American, and I spent most of my life here. And I think that sometimes it kind of throws me off when I see myself in opera companies' program books, and like a lot of times the company will have their hometown or their birthplace next to their name, and it always says Justin Austin, Germany, you know. And there is a big part of me that resonates with that, but I feel like it doesn't tell the whole story, you know. So receiving this award that goes to an American, really makes me proud, and it makes me proud to be American. It makes me proud to be Black, and I think that it has definitely put me in this category of one of the top American singers in the world, which is humbling, in the least.
For someone who says, you know, opera maybe isn't for me, why are they wrong about this production particularly?
I think for people who think opera isn't for them, they just haven't experienced the right opera. You know, I think when people go to the movie theater and they see a movie that they don't particularly like, they don't leave the theater saying, oh, I don't like movies. They leave saying, I don't like that movie, right? So there are many different kinds of operas. I mean, they're just like with movies. There's comedy, there's romantic opera, there's dramatic opera, and I think that you just need to find something that is for you. You know, something that you resonate with, and then keep coming back. You know, and experiencing new things, because you might, explore a little bit and find out that, oh, I didn't realize that I like Wagnerian opera, but this is kind of cool. You know. But as far as this opera is concerned, I think that it's a great starting point for anybody that is interested in opera, whether you are an opera connoisseur and where you've experienced, lots of opera. You probably haven't experienced Scott Joplin's Treemonisha. It's very rarely done. I think it's only been done 8 times in its existence since 1911. It's only been produced 8 times. I mean, that's kind of crazy, you know? For people who are opera nerds, this is one for you, and people who are just getting introduced to opera, especially young Americans that want something to relate to because it's in English, it's not long, it's very accessible and enjoyable music. A lot of American opera nowadays is very complex and atonal, and this is not that. This is very tonal. This is very I remember when reading about Scott Joplin, there was a stat that I thought was really fascinating. When streaming became available, and I think it was maybe 2010 when they started recording statistics about streaming, the #1 streamed artist in the world was Scott Joplin.
Really?
Right. Because we hear so much of his music in today's society, and Maple Leaf Rag, The Entertainer, there's so many things that you don't even realize that it's Scott Joplin's music. So if you come, you might hear some tunes that you recognize, and you'll definitely be enthralled by some tunes that will be new to you.
And when people come and they watch the play, what do you want their main takeaway to be when they leave?
Honestly, I think the main takeaway that I hope the audience, takes with them is to treat people with decency and respect, no matter who they are. No matter who they are. I think there is an element, a theme, if you will, of forgiveness in this opera that I think is really powerful. But along with that theme of forgiveness is we all make mistakes, it's not up to us to punish people. All our responsibility should be is to help one another and to guide one another forward
I
and
like
not
that.
backwards.